Elon Musk is a superhuman who is known for his mind-blowing innovative ideas. His far beyond remarkable projects include the Starship, Tesla Cybertruck, Starlink Broadband, and an endless list. But to this list, one more thing that is going to be added is the artificial gravity he is going to create in space. Yeah, you heard it right, he is creating artificial gravity, and that too in space. Do you want to know more about it? Well, stay tuned in the video. Welcome to Elon Musk Planet. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update on SpaceX, Tesla, Starship, or anything related to the multi-talented, influential tech icon and billionaire, Elon Musk. Now, despite the numerous crises we face in the world today, it is still a thrilling time to be alive. As we speak, mission planners and engineers are formulating the concepts that will soon take astronauts on outings beyond low Earth orbits, LEO, for the first time in almost 50 years. In addition to returning to the moon, we are also looking further afield to Mars and other foreign places in the solar system. In the recent cycle of tweets that the SpaceX CEO answered earlier today, Musk reflected a lot of insightful and fascinating topics, which gives more information about the stainless steel spacecraft. The CEO answered a question by a fan who asked about the chance of tethering another Starship to a launch to create artificial gravity. Musk responded, yes, implying that it may be a plan of the company, and it might occur soon when the Starship is clear for its missions after the series of tests. Musk also says that the company is already thinking about the many possible ways its next-generation Starship launch vehicle could be used in space. In keeping with the composition of SpaceX, slowly working out to turn science fiction into science facts, many SpaceX engineers have chosen artificial gravity. Already, ideas publicly glorified by the SpaceX CEO range from using cargo starships to clean up space residue with its mouth-like payload bay to a stripped-down, expandable variant of the rocket to quickly send massive spacecraft throughout the solar system. Now, Musk says that SpaceX has also deemed tethering starships together in space to create a structure of artificial gravity for passengers on multi-month journeys between planets, as well as the likelihood of turning entire starships into all-in-one orbital observatories a magnitude more powerful than Hubble. Relying on how realistic a franchise is trying to be, starships will either produce their gravity using some special device or through rotating sections. While the retired concept is much like the hyperdrive, that uses physics that are either fictitious or theoretical at this point, the latter is entirely logical. But what is this artificial gravity that got everyone gossiping? Artificial gravity is the innovation of an inertial force that mimics the effects of a gravitational force, usually by rotation. Artificial gravity, or rotational gravity, is thus the impression of a centrifugal force in a rotating frame, as opposed to the force experienced in linear acceleration, which, by the equivalence principle, is indistinguishable from gravity. So naturally, the earliest and most common examples are proposed to make artificial gravity aim to build spinning ships, identical to the classic rotor carnival ride. Centrifugal force will press the crew and equipment against the vessel's interior, imitating gravity. Also, the concept goes back to over a century, with the first recorded example by Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, 1857 to 1935, one of the founding fathers of rocketry and aeronautics. In 1903, he published a study titled Investigation of Outer Space Rocket Devices, where he inferred using rotational force to create artificial gravity in space. Since then, many interpretations of this idea have been proposed for space stations and habitats, such as the Von Braun wheel, the O'Neill cylinder, and the Stanford torus. Some concepts are even being evaluated for development, such as NASA's Nautilus X space station, which would use a rotating torus to give artificial gravity, or the Gateway Foundation's proposal for a commercial space station, evidently invoked during discussions with astrophysicist and Nobel laureate Saul Perlmutter. At least parts of the physics community are already examining the chances delivered by using Starship as a sort of foundation or spacecraft bus that could carry and operate vast scientific payloads. While Starship has already been officially floated several times as a serious contender for launch services for major future missions, this concept would instead see Starship function as the spacecraft itself. As of 2021, Starship has yet to reach space or orbit once, but SpaceX isn't far from that landmark. Eventually, perhaps just a few years from now, Starships will have successfully launched 2. And operated in orbit dozens or even hundreds of times and become a mature and reliable spacecraft. But all this tethering and creating artificial gravity? How is that even logical? Let me give you an example. You may have seen in movies that the crew is always walking alongside their spaceship or space station, wandering around just like they would here on Earth. But how is that even possible? If you are good in physics, unlike me, then you know that gravity has a lesser effect in space than on Earth. There is far less gravity once you leap into space. Yet in these movies, people are continually prancing around as if this isn't an issue. This is because, in science fiction, artificial gravity exists, even if it doesn't exist in the actual world, at least not yet. Artificial gravity has always been something that many scientists and engineers have wanted to turn from a tale into a reality, even though there has been no success as of yet. There are many reasons why artificial gravity is important, including some very serious ones related to the health and well-being of astronauts. Still, it has yet to make the leap from the movie screen to the real world. Despite a strict workout routine and the best treatment available in 50 years of space medicine, regaining from zero-G remains a huge physical struggle. Let's also not forget that the very shape of our bodies is given shape by gravity on Earth. Gravity is one of the main reasons why our muscles haven't dwindled and shrunk over the years. If gravity is absent, then our bodies will begin to realize that there is no need for our muscles to keep us functioning normally. Dr. Robert Zubrin, a longtime supporter of manned Martian exploration, proposed tethering a crew module to the expanded launch stage and rotating them around a common center of gravity. While this choice is not open for the Starship as the launch stage is recovered on Earth, it does point the way to a different strategy, such as launching multiple ships per journey. We simply have to wait and see what SpaceX does to be eligible to create artificial gravity, as the company hasn't exactly been quite open about its plans, likely because it's still in its early stages and they would rather prefer private judgment than scathing public criticism of their plans currently. However, YouTuber Small Stars has formulated a concept that he calls the Gravity Link Starship, GLS, a variation of SpaceX's Starship that will be able to provide its artificial gravity. After performing some study into centripetal force, Small Stars arrived at the idea for the GLS. As he explains in his videos, the GLS is basically a hub ship, that is, like the hub of a wheel, where the payload bay is filled with a truss that unfolds and deploys robotically, thus serving as the wheel's spokes. Small Stars not only clarified the system, but also did the calculations needed to calculate the construction of the truss and the velocity compelled to replicate Earth normal gravity. Using spin calculator, he calculated that a rotational velocity of 31 meters per second would be sufficient for a system with a radius of around 100 meters. Generating the sensation of 1G and rotating at a rate of about 3 rotations per minute. In layman's terms, real artificial gravity could be attained this way. However, SpaceX and its CEO have not been evident about what techniques they would use when launching the Starship, and the possibilities are endless. But apart from our expectations and thoughts, how do you feel about this? Do you think that SpaceX will be able to send people to Mars within the next 5 years if they keep working at this speed? Let us know in the comments below. And most importantly, if you want to be updated on every single topic related to Elon Musk, then you should consider subscribing to the channel and pressing the bell icon. See you in the next one. Until then, peace.